down in the feature match area. This is it, Craig. This is the finals of the U.S. National Championship. Who will go ahead and hoist up the stars and stripes? Will it be Evan Herndon in the finals for the second year in a row in a powerful aggro deck? Zen, or will it be Andrew Rothermel finally getting that W to go ahead and add to his already impressive resume?
This is why we do it, Brian. This is why we showed up for this weekend.
100%. Tariq Patel also gracing us with his presence down there in the feature match area.
Oh, that's so fun.
Former U.S. national champion.
Yep.
There's been 3. Tariq Patel, Charles Dunn, Michael Hamilton. 3 greats of the game.
Yeah, really impressive run of players there.
Who will be the 4th? Will it be Andrew Rothermel? Will it be Evan Herndon? Both clearly deserving champions.
This will be fun. Yeah.
So funny how U.S. Nationals feels like the spot where these aggro decks really break out, put themselves on the map. Of course, we call back to Tariq Patel's first historic win on the Cheerios Briar list that kind of set the world on fire.
Oh, 6-0 draft? Hell yeah, nice.
Last year was Lexi, looking impressive. Was ultimately blunted
They still were good to go whenever.
by the presence of that fatigue bot Briar. Oh, and it is Zephyr Needle here, Craig.
That is interesting.
I was of the impression that given Andrew's kind of more mid-rangeous approach, of course, a lot of availability to go ahead and blow up these Zephyr Needles, this would be a Tiger taming Kakara match, but Evan bucking the trend and going ahead with Zephyr Needle here.
Yeah, I can see the argument. If you think that a lot of this matchup is just 2 ships passing in the night, you'd much rather be getting 4 points out of your weapon instead of 3.
It's really hard for me to imagine Andrew playing the matchup in that fashion. It just feels like he's so incentivized to try and slow things down wherever he can, string some disruptive elements together. Like, I don't think there's a lot of spots where he's just going to say no blocks. I feel like he's going to have an opportunity to blow up these Zephyr Needles. Let's see if it actually comes to fruition.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying. There's also the argument that on some turns you only have 1 free resource, and being able to attack with a Zephyr Needle for 2 is very effective.
Kicking things off here with a discarded Agile windup and just going to move to Arsenal. Could have fired off something like a Swing Big. Instead, going to go ahead and keep the hand. Doesn't want to risk maybe giving over that Quicken token
Well,
his first turn.
You don't want to let the opponent craft their hand,
Yep,
right?
No filtering allowed. Andrew Rothermel set up well.
Harmony of the Hunt, 3.
Harmony of the Hunt going to go ahead and produce a Tiger in hand for Evan Herndon, as well as offer 3 damage here. 2 resources still at the ready. Passing up on that first Transcend with Homage here. I think maybe no other blue card to accompany it. So a bit of a miss.
No reactions.
Yeah, it's still interesting that he's not prioritizing that first Transcend quite as high as we might have thought he would.
Of course, you could have moved that to Arsenal, but that leaves this hand very ineffective.
For 0.
Crouching Tiger for 0, coming in.
No way. No reactions.
Here's 100 wins, 3 more on offer, 1 card left in Evan's hand. Still options for Andrew to block here, or does he need to get his own damage in? Is he looking to get aggressive early on in this matchup?
And I think we're seeing the downside of these Zephyr Needles right away.
I agree 100%. It seems very hard to attack with them in this spot. 2 resources at the ready here. That could have just been Tiger taming Kakara off that Tiger by 1, but here we go. It is time for the Zephyr Needles, and let's see if Andrew was once again patient, or if this is just a hand he does not want to defend with. I see him reaching. I think he has just go ahead, stayed the course, and is ready to go ahead and get this first Zephyr Needle off the board. Second Zephyr Needle comes in.
Yeah,
this one, though, Andrew is going to go ahead and accept.
All right, not a complete disaster, right? If you're in Evan's seat, you forced through a good bit of damage. You only had 1 of your weapons blown up for the turn. Let's see if he can put something together a little more explosive for turn 2.
Yeah, I think Evan was really emboldened to go ahead and take that approach with the Zephyr Needles and not just leave equity on the table due to the presence of this agility of this Might token. You know Andrew wants to have several cards in hand to play out this turn. Will now do so. Goes ahead and starts things off with a 9 power go again Swing Big. Pretty big attack here, Craig.
I don't think we're getting the token from this.
No, I feel like that's pretty far outside the realm of possibility.
No blocks in the 9.
No blocks here,
Yeah.
as expected. 9 damage to Evan Herndon. Going to fall to 31. This one's going to be quick, Craig. Blink and you'll miss it. 2 resources still floating here. Looks like Wild Ride as well as a Wind Up at the ready. Certainly want to refresh that Might token here.
Sorry, one floating.
One floating.
Yeah.
Both of our mistakes.
Well,
I'm with you, Andrew. We're just going to go ahead and get this Wild Ride cranking. Assume we hit on the discard. It is a Clash of Might, so good and safe. Might is refreshed. 2 resources floating. Claw is going to close this out.
I'll block for 3.
953.
Take 2.
All gas.
29.
953. 17 offered on this turn.
For 3 with go again with the claw.
Did get a defensive card here. A bit of a rarity from the Zens, but a card was assigned to defensive duty. It was a blue Bonds. Love getting that.
Yeah, often
Out
you
there in the
want
bin.
the combo piece in the graveyard so that you can banish it with a future bond.
And I see another Bonds in hand. I also see a Transcend card, so we could be set up for the future. Let's see what's in Arsenal. Let's see how these cards combine for Evan Herndon. Are we doing the necessary steps to go ahead and set up a future Traverse and get things rolling? Expect this to be a blue card? No, it is a red Harmony of the Hunt here. Okay.
Interesting.
So we're offering up 3 go again alongside of a Tiger. Maybe that means we're just going to go ahead and Arsenal that Transcend card.
Yeah, this is a very patient approach.
Yeah.
No blocks on the 3 here.
2 resources still available for Evan, so use Zephyr Needle to go ahead and round out this turn.
Send the card.
We put them in there to attack, right?
Crouching Tiger for 0 once more.
2.
Here comes Zephyr Needle.
Oh, man, there's just so many hands out of the Brute deck that want to block with 1 or 2 cards.
Yeah, and here it is again. And look,
3.
we'll see how the rest of the match goes. Thus far, Zephyr Needle's in this match for me. A miss.
Sure.
I think you just get more out of Kakara and across these both 2 turns. And look, that's being results oriented. I'll be
Yes.
frank
Yep.
about that. That is just how this game has played out. I'm sure there's plenty of other situations where that is not going to be the case. But here, thus far, Zephyr Needles did not impress.
Yeah, we would love to still have a weapon right now.
On to Andrew's side, life totals are even. Might is ready. Swing Big is in hand. And yep, it's just going to be a fine, simple, clean attack for 9. Evan is ready to cash in the first piece of equipment, get a little upgrade to the next hand. That Stride is going to turn into a Tiger. I suspect that Tiger is going to turn into Art of War fodder. There you see it in Evan's hand. The Art of War is at the ready.
Brian, he blocks so fast.
Yep.
This hand has to be a banger.
He knew
right?
exactly what he wanted to do on this turn. Plenty of damage leaking here.
And
Over to Evan's side, but Tiger in hand.
one of the problems, if you are on the Brute side of this matchup, is that you don't have those ridiculously high upside 25-point turns when the opponent is stumbling, right? So we've had Evan with a more mediocre start for the Zen deck, but no real punishment out of Andrew.
Here's what we got to keep track of on this turn, Craig. Scowling Fleshbag. We saw it in
Yep.
the last game from Andrew Rothermel. Timed it perfectly to absolutely devastate Aaron Grace. Can he find a window here to punish Evan Herndon's hand? Is this the spot where we shove that forward and try and get just a little pinch of disruption? Take Evan off of large output here.
And we're still looking to transcend in this game.
Great point, Craig. No transcends yet. It is available from Arsenal, I believe. There it is. Preserve Tradition. Going to go ahead, rebuy a card here.
Well, and he can hold priority here. So he's going to transcend. I believe he'll activate Zen,
Yep. Get 2 cards in the pitch.
two blue cards in the pitch, and then get an extra bonus out of the levels.
That sounds pretty good.
I got Tiger in my hand. Search my deck for a combo card that I can play this turn. Grab a Descendant Gust Wave.
That bodes poorly for Andrew Rothermel. Some vulnerability here. The first Descendant Gust Wave of the match
Again, draw a card on this levels.
has been found. Of course, this level's also going to refresh. Man, does Evan feel practice with this deck. Just looks so smooth. Knows exactly what he's doing here.
And we haven't even used the Traverse the Universe yet.
Yep.
There's still a lot of
We
things
only
going
got our
on.
first Transcend this turn. So, yeah, there's future punishment coming. And that's the problem here if you're in Andrew's seat. If you go ahead and commit cards here to the defense, you can just get blown up on your next turn. You can face back-to-back turns of this. And I love this, what I'm seeing from Zen. You know, when Zen kind of first showed up on the scene, It was all about those massive 6-7 card hands. You push forward traverse, you push forward strides in the same turn, and you just go as hard as you can. I feel like we've seen a lot this weekend splitting up the two and using them to fund back-to-back strong turns that really put your opponent on ice. You can fade one big turn a lot of the time. Two in a row, really, really hard for the vast majority of this format.
Yeah, this game really plays that out, right? Where Evan was just chipping and chipping with the early turns, and now it's go time. This is going to be an absolutely ludicrous bonkers turn.
4 go again on offer from this levels. We talked about Scowling Fleshbag. The problem is there's 5 cards in hand. Even if there were a critical choke point on this hand, you got to hit a 20%er to go ahead and actually find it. Otherwise, you could just hit some garbage like a Crouching Tiger and have actual 0 effect on the turn. It's a huge, huge risk to push that forward here.
Yeah.
It is pretty funny that these, extra Crouching Tigers that are floating around are a little bit of insurance against the Scowling Fleshbag.
100%. I do expect we're going to see a good amount of equipment on this turn, however. It doesn't have to be the Scowling Fleshbag.
Yeah, the question is, does Andrew have a couple of those disruptive cards in his hand where he's going to want to hang on to them? Or is this, listen, I'm giving you my whole hand, and then I'm preserving my armor. I'll only give you the armor if I have to.
Andrew's hand to me looks like just generic damage, but very good generic damage. I know there's a Wild Ride in Arsenal. I see a Beast Within in hand.
Sure.
I see a Bare Fangs. So there is huge potential, and there's multiple blues as well. So the theoretical potential of Andrew's hand, I think, is lethal. But here it is time to go ahead and push the Scowling Fleshbag forward. Let's see if this succeeds and finds a key card in Evan's hand. Evan's already shuffling. Andrew hasn't even committed to the block yet.
He's not sure he wants to do this, but this might be the high upside gamble that you need to take
Look,
here.
I think you're going to have to use this equipment at some point in this turn.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, if you take out the bonds, incredible upside.
Yeah, here is the Scowling Fleshbag.
Yeah.
5 cards in hand. We will roll a die.
Oh, Brian, I love this.
1 will be intimidated. Lucky number 6 forces a reroll, and it's going to be number 1.
How do we do?
Put aside. We got to check the hand now. From Evan, I saw the bonds.
No reactions. Take 2.
Oh, Evan, show us the hand, Evan.
Math is hard.
Wait, did he hit the bonds, Craig?
If he hit the bonds here, completely ludicrous. He hit
Oh
the
my
bonds.
God, he did.
Unbelievable. This might be the break that Andrew needed in this game.
Oh my God. He hit the 20%er to remove the Bonds of Ancestry from Evan Herndon's hand, and now Evan is forced back into the tank. Once again, Andrew Rothermel in the semifinals and finals has found maybe the 2 greatest Scowling Fleshbags in the history of Flesh and Blood. Incredible, incredible defensive and offensive output from that card. I don't know what hitting the bonds saves here, but it's a lot, Craig. It's a lot of damage. And now Andrew's going to be able to play future turns very, very strong.
Wait, no, 6.
Yeah.
Chico.
This
Yeah,
Tiger Stripe going to be buffed by the Tiger Stripe Shuko.
I was just indicating to Brian, I think this is a 6-point attack from the Shuko, and the players caught it.
So this is just the one in play, not the one in hand. Ready in hand.
This is 6, representing 7, because you're creating another Tiger if it hits.
If you're Andrew, how did you not celebrate in that spot? As soon as you saw that Tiger after the Descendant, you know you hit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's basically guaranteed.
It's still not time to celebrate, though, right?
He's got more discipline than I do. I would be doing backflips down the hall, 20%er for my U.S. Nationals life.
Take 6 with 15.
Listen, Brian, the game's
Are
not
you
over
doubting
yet.
my ability to do backflips, Greg? That's what I'm feeling
Not at
right
all.
now.
Not at all. We're actually going to cut to that right after this match.
No,
Just
we're
Brian
not.
doing backflips.
We're going to cut to an interview, and then we're going to cut to the future of Flesh and Blood, but we're not cutting to backflips.
No.
Crouching Tiger comes in for 1, followed up by E-Strike. Going to bottom the last card in hand, and Andrew Rothermel has survived. Plenty of equipment still at the ready.
I mean, it's still an incredible turn.
Yeah, and shoves all these pieces here. 6 defense on offer, ready for Savage Sash on the next turn. This is going to be big output from Andrew. Can he push all the way to lethal? There are defensive options on Evan's side. Still 6 points of defense on the equipment right now. That bonds back into the arsenal.
It's so hard for the Brute deck to push more than 20 damage.
Absolutely is, Craig, especially without a Blood Rush Bellow, which we do not have here. I do think the Beast Within could be a potential spike card for this turn.
Unlock a little bit more to our hand.
Maybe it does something ridiculous, like finds a Blood Rush Bellow. Andrew's running hot thus far. Wild Ride, as we expected, in Arsenal, so we have some action points to work with here. We don't have to get desperate and go Scabskins yet.
I wouldn't be surprised if we do get desperate at some point in this turn.
Especially if Savage Sash gets cashed in here, which I think is also a very real possibility.
Sure.
Feels like you have to get to the 20-plus range. The problem is,
absolutely.
Otherwise, that Traverse just goes ahead and defends, sets up this next hand.
Well, and we know the combo piece. The Bonds is in the arsenal.
Already at the ready.
The Traverse giving us the Chi is going to search up the Descending Gust Wave if it's needed. And then there's the whole combo line. Oh, interesting.
Wild Ride kicking things off here.
I thought he might lead with the Sash. I thought this might be the desperation turn where he needed every possible resource, but it's possible.
A little bit more information here.
Yeah, he's waiting to see what this does.
Oh, it's the Beast Within. One more time, Andrew Rothermel wins the lottery and finds a Wild Ride off the top.
Critical card.
Oh, boy. Things have gotten very interesting here, Craig. That Wild Ride going to guarantee extra action points, maybe not forcing those Scabskins quite yet. I believe we have another blue in hand as well.
No reaction.
We're set up well for at least 18 here, but we got to do more, Craig. We have to find a little bit of extra sauce on the top. Do we have it?
Yeah.
There's Bear Fangs on the end as well.
Oof.
Now, you need to fade discarding that to the Wild Ride if that is the play here.
You do, but maybe we have redraws.
Absolutely. Run Roughshod, ready to be pitched as well. Get that resource count a little higher. Mandible Claw now turned on. So a host of options available to Andrew Rothermel.
And the
got to
Sash.
get these numbers high.
The Sash is sitting there as well. I think that is such a decision point in this turn.
So much pressure on Andrew to get it right here. And there's so many unknowns, Craig. It's not face up. There's no certainty. Everything off the top of the deck changes everything. But it is time for Sash. It's pushed forward. And Andrew is shooting for the moon here, trying to find the offense he needs to keep Evan off that massive, massive clapback turn.
Oh, Brian, I wish we had that one more resource. We'll see if it matters the way the turn plays out.
Where do we go next here? Really wants to keep that Bear Fangs in hand, and this is going to give the best odds of doing so. A 25% fade. A second Bear Fangs, I think, was drawn there. Not sure the color on it.
Incredible.
Maybe giving us a bit of comfort, a bit of safety here. Rolls. Finds yellow Bear Fangs. So red Bear Fangs persists in hand. The best possible ender you can find. We know at least 8 more going to be on offer here. Mandible Claw at the ready, assuming resources are available.
Right, I think we might still be rolling Scabbies here.
It is a blue, a Bear Fangs, and a Send Packing. If you roll Scabs and you hit a 4, you can do everything. Everything comes out here.
There is still some variance. Oh, no, you are correct. You can order it such that...
Yeah, you lead with the Send Packing, and you take all the variance out. The variance is in this die roll, and it may be that Andrew Rothermel is going to attempt to roll a 4 for his tournament life here. Because right now, you can go ahead and offer 8 with that Bear Fangs. All Evan does, it goes ahead, puts the Traverse in front of it, maybe the Tiger Stripe Shuko, and then has a massive hand to try and clap back with you. Now, we haven't talked about how good that hand is. It's certainly possible that Andrew Rothermel can survive through that turn. But you really would love to get a card out of Evan's hand here. Maybe take away that 12-petal Kasaya to go ahead and blunt the resource output. There's so many wins available if you're able to find a 4 on the Scabskin Leathers roll.
I think Evan's hand is ludicrous.
It's a scary proposition, Craig. Is Andrew going to take the risk here?
So calculating.
He's reaching for it.
Love it.
And there it is. Scabskin Leathers. One of the biggest Scabskin Leathers rolls we have ever seen in the finals of U.S. Nationals. It's hard for Andrew to pull the trigger. He can't take his hand off it. He can't go ahead and commit. The stakes are so high, but there it is. There's the roll.
Okay, here we go, Brian.
What is it going to be? Andrew has been very fortunate.
We need a big
Here
number.
It is. 5!
Oh, wow.
He hits the 5, Craig.
And now the question turns to how many cards can he demand from Evan's hand?
I don't like to throw around terms like destiny, Craig, but it is starting to feel like Andrew Rothermel may be destined to be U.S. national champion. Everything has gone his way thus far.
And send packing, kind of the perfect disruptive card here.
It's going to put the Bonds out of Arsenal. If this hits, it would clear it, but it is going to get all three
Yep,
pieces
yep.
of equipment here.
And
But that's not it, Craig. There's got to be one more card committed.
absolutely, but Evan's been very patient. I love that he didn't commit any of his armor before this. It was the insurance policy against send packing, against CNC. Just the patience paying off.
Absolutely. Does get to go find the chi.
Shoot, flashbag.
Yeah, I assumed.
Brutal. Blocking 6 and 6, right?
Evan bemoaning
Turn hand.
the good flashbag luck. It's going to get worse for Evan here. It is the best follow-up. It's Bear Fangs and a card. Oh, he hit Reckless
Oh,
Swing.
wow.
For the first time, things go a little bit wrong here.
So Evan can put almost anything he wants in front of this.
Okay. Okay, a small win there, I would say. A small win for Evan. Ultimately, a card still demanded.
Block 3, go to 3.
Yeah, number 3.
This is going to have an influence over future turns. The outcome of this would have been the same either way. But Evan now is at 3 as opposed to 1, and that means out of Reckless Swing range.
Yes. Huge.
So maybe that was critical depending on what Andrew draws here. Now, what can Evan do with still 5 cards in hand,
and I
Craig?
think he's all rolled up with the combo pieces. He has the chi to go tutoring in his deck. He's going to give the graveyard a gander. How
Look.
many times can I go down this path with the combo? Andrew, 9 health left, 2 points of armor still over there.
Craig, disaster has struck for Andrew Rothermel in the form of a no block in hand. He needs to find a way to survive this turn.
I can tell you,
Oh, yeah. 2 floating.
it probably would not have mattered the way that this turn is going to play out. I think Evan's hand is massive.
You have how many cards? 3.
Kicking things off, Descendant Gust Wave. Even worse news if you're an Andrew Rothermel fan. A 2 block in hand as well this go around. It is the Blood Rush Bellows, one of the few 2 blocks present.
No, oh,
Oh, excuse me,
Wind
Mighty,
Up.
Mighty Wind Up.
yep, the wind-up
Mighty
card.
Wind Up sitting in the 2 block slot. And here is Red Bonds of Ancestry. And I don't know, Craig. I think everything went about as well as possible for Andrew Rothermel in this match, short of that discard, but I don't think it mattered. I think Evan is going to have the gas on this turn to show why he was so confident going into this finals, why he believed in the power of his Zen deck.
Yeah, I think Andrew took the perfect lines to be in this game and is still going to come up just a little bit short.
Red Descendant is the grab here. That tells me there is even more action coming.
Yep, Evan, he's going to be able to transcend here, tutor up another Bonds.
We're here, generating a might.
Are going to do our best to get a might here, but for the first time, I'm seeing some cracks in the demeanor of Andrew Rothermel.
It's funny because he's still making the good play, right? He's ensuring he gets
Have
this
to.
extra
You
might
have to
token.
go ahead and
out of
pursue your
his-
best
his
outcome,
gloves.
But yes, things look very dire at this point. It is Descendant Gust Wave once more. It is a card capable of transcending in hand. Just a nightmare scenario here for Andrew. Another Descendant Gust Wave at the ready one more time. You have to feel for Andrew. Played so beautifully. Took the gambles, hit, succeeded on the gambles, and still so vulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, it can be tough when you get this close and you fall short. But I think when you're able to step away from it, you really appreciate what a run you had, and you know that even second place is something special.
And look, if you need proof that this is something you can use as a launch pad,
Oh wow! Just
look no further than Evan Herndon,
has
runner-up
the
last year.
natural.
Bonds user this year and seemingly soon
Oh. Wait.
to be U.S. national champion. Bonds offering 4 here. Going to go ahead and get another Bonds.
Oh, no.
And if you're Andrew, you see that, you have to be like, you have got to be kidding me.
Oh, man.
Why would you get a Bonds here? Why would you get a Bonds, Evan?
Back in. Do you want me to shuffle?
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, Evan knows the writing is on the wall. You can see.
And it's 3 red Bonds as well. Just no breathing room.
Yeah, we see that Blood Rush Bellow push forward the last of the 3 blocks
Passover.
in hand. It is time for Passover.
Target.
A blue card has been played. Savage Sash going to go ahead and hit the bin. We'll flip this over.
You're going to activate Zen.
We'll activate Zen. 1 resource at the ready. All we have to do is show a Descendant here, and there is no reprieve,
Red Descendant.
no outs for Andrew Rothermel.
Look at all these red attacks, Brian. This is
will
just
offer
bonkers.
3 one more time. It is not yet lethal. Andrew can fall to 1.
That's one breaks.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
There's Tiger Swipe at the end of all of this. It's going to be 3 into 4 into 5, and it's going to be
Through 4.
Evan Herndon
Dang.
going ahead and declaring himself U.S. national champion.
Tiger swipe.
It is going to get the fist
Yeah.
bump, and that does it.
Incredible finish.
Evan Herndon, redemption arc completed. 2nd place finisher at U.S. National Championships last year.
Just spectacular run, Brian. You
Finds
love
the
to see
best
it.
deck in the format, he says, and I believe him. Looked very, very impressive all day long on Zen. And he is your 2024 U.S. National Champion. Congrats to Evan Herndon.
Just so proud of both of these players. Just putting on an absolute clinic this weekend.